Have you ever wondered if your reality is a simulation? A question that is, in itself, a paradox, opening doors to a realm of possibilities that stretch beyond the confines of our perceived reality. This is the simulation theory, an idea that has been gaining traction in the past few decades. The world of science fiction has long toyed with this concept, from the intricate mind-bending narratives of films like The Matrix, to the philosophical and technological musings of TV shows like Black Mirror. The concept of simulated reality has seeped into our collective consciousness. Even video games like The Sims have flirted with this idea, blurring the lines between the virtual and the real. The simulation theory is not just a product of imaginative storytelling, it has roots in serious academic thought, with philosophers, scientists, and tech visionaries alike pondering its implications. So it begs the question, what if everything around you is just a complex computer program? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of the simulation theory. At the heart of this thought-provoking theory is the idea that everything we perceive, every experience we have, may be part of a sophisticated digital illusion. Imagine for a moment that all of reality, including Earth and the universe, is not what it seems. It's not a tangible, physical existence, but an artificial simulation, a virtual construct created by a technologically advanced civilization. The simulation hypothesis suggests that we are like characters in an extraordinarily advanced video game, living our lives oblivious to the fact that our world is a fabricated reality. This isn't just some wild science fiction concept. Some of the brightest minds in fields like physics, philosophy, and technology have seriously considered this possibility. The hypothesis is based on the premise that future civilizations would have computing power unimaginably greater than what we possess today. They could potentially create numerous simulated realities, each indistinguishable from the real one. For the inhabitants of these simulations, their world would feel as real to them as ours does to us. But why would such advanced civilizations create these simulations? Perhaps they're running ancestral simulations, recreations of their past to understand their history better. Or maybe they're conducting experiments on a grand scale, seeing how different variables could change the course of history. The implications are mind-boggling. If we are in a simulation, then the laws of physics as we understand them could be merely programmed limitations. Our perception of time could be manipulated. Even our sense of free will might be an illusion, our decisions predetermined by the complex algorithms of the simulation. Of course, all this is purely speculative. The simulation hypothesis cannot be proven or disproven with our current understanding and technology, but it's an idea that challenges our perception of reality, pushing us to question the very nature of existence. In essence, we could all be living in a digital playground much like a video game. Why do some scientists and philosophers believe we might be living in a simulation? Well, let's delve into the arguments that back up the simulation theory. First off, consider our own technological advancement. In the span of just a few decades, we've moved from simple video games that were mere pixels and basic sounds to intricate virtual realities that are almost indistinguishable from the real world. These virtual realities can simulate physical sensations, emotions, and even memories. If our technology can achieve this in such a short time, imagine what could be possible in 100, 1,000, or 1,000,000 years. Wouldn't a sufficiently advanced civilization have the capability to create a simulation that's indistinguishable from reality? Next, let's talk about artificial intelligence. It's no secret that AI is becoming more and more sophisticated, potentially even reaching a point where it could surpass human intelligence. If we can create artificial beings that think, feel, and perceive the world as we do, who's to say we aren't artificial beings ourselves, created by a more advanced civilization? The third argument is the mathematical nature of our universe. Everything, from the way planets orbit the sun to the way our cells divide, can be described with mathematical equations. Even quantum mechanics, as mind-boggling as it can be, follows mathematical principles. This leads to a rather unsettling question. If the universe can be calculated and predicted, could it also be programmed? Moreover, the concept of information is fundamental to our understanding of physics. In fact, the laws of physics can be seen as a form of computation. This has led some theorists to suggest that the universe itself could be a giant computer, crunching numbers on a cosmic scale. And there you have it. The technological advancement of our civilization, the rise of artificial intelligence, and the mathematical nature of our universe all lend credence to the idea that we might just be living in a simulation. If the universe can be calculated and predicted, could it also be programmed? Of course, not everyone is on board with this idea. The simulation hypothesis, while intriguing, does face its fair share of criticisms and counter-arguments. Let's dive into some of these. Firstly, the critics argue about the limitations of our current technology. As it stands, our most advanced supercomputers are still far from creating a flawless, all-encompassing replica of reality. Just think about it. To simulate a single human brain, we would need to model each of its approximately 100 billion neurons and their connections. That's a task so colossal that it seems almost insurmountable, even for our most powerful computers. So the idea that we could be living in a fully simulated universe, one that includes every single particle, seems a bit far-fetched. Secondly, there's the issue of evidence, or rather, the lack thereof. The simulation theory, while intellectually stimulating and arguably consistent with our understanding of physical laws, does not come with concrete evidence. In science, a theory is just a hypothesis until it's proven, and so far the simulation theory remains unproven. Moreover, some argue that the simulation theory is unfalsifiable, meaning it cannot be proven false. This is a problem in the scientific community, as falsifiability is a key criterion for a hypothesis to be considered scientific. If there's no way to prove it wrong, can it truly be considered a valid scientific theory? Lastly, there's the philosophical counterargument. If we are living in a simulation, does it really matter? Our experiences, emotions, and interactions are real to us, regardless of whether or not they're the product of a grand simulation. So, some critics argue that the simulation theory, even if true, wouldn't change much about our day-to-day lives. While the theory is intriguing, it remains just that, a theory. If we were living in a simulation, what would that mean for us? This is where we venture into the realm of implications, and boy are they profound. In a simulated existence, the concept of consciousness takes on new dimensions. Are we sentient beings with genuine thoughts and emotions, or are we merely advanced artificial intelligence, programmed to believe we're experiencing life? If the latter, where does this leave the idea of the self? Could it be that our individual identities, our very sense of self, is nothing more than a series of complex algorithms? Then there's the question of free will. If we're living in a simulation, does that mean our actions are predetermined? Are we merely following a script, with our choices nothing more than the result of coded instructions? Or could it be that within this simulation we're granted a certain level of autonomy, allowing us to deviate from the programmed path? These questions inevitably lead us to the nature of reality itself. If our world is a simulation, what does that mean for our understanding of the universe? Does it render our scientific laws and principles obsolete? Or would it merely add another layer to the grand cosmic puzzle, requiring us to rethink our theories and models? The implications extend beyond the scientific and philosophical, reaching into the realms of ethics and morality. If we're living in a simulation, should we strive to break free, or should we accept our existence within this digital realm? And if we were to discover other simulations, would we have a moral obligation to liberate them, or would we be interfering with a system we don't fully understand? The simulation theory, while unsettling, is undeniably fascinating. It challenges our most fundamental beliefs about who we are, what we are, and the world we inhabit. It forces us to question, to speculate, to wonder. And whether you believe it or not, one thing is certain. The simulation theory certainly gives us a lot to ponder. So, where do we go from here? As we delve deeper into the future of simulation theory, we're standing on the precipice of a new age of understanding, fueled by technological advancements and our insatiable curiosity. The future of simulation theory is as exciting as it is mysterious. A narrative that's being written even as we speak. Ongoing research is pushing the boundaries of what we know about reality and our place within it. Scientists and philosophers alike are grappling with the implications of this theory, and their research is leading us down intriguing paths. There is a growing interest in quantum computing and artificial intelligence, fields that could potentially offer the tools needed to create or detect a simulated reality. Imagine, if you will, a future where we have the capacity to create a simulation so intricate, so detailed that the inhabitants of said simulation are completely unaware of their digital existence. This would lend credence to the simulation hypothesis, suggesting that we ourselves could be living within a simulation. On the other hand, we may discover evidence that rules out the possibility of our reality being a simulation. This could come in the form of a fundamental aspect of our universe that simply cannot be simulated, or a limitation in computational power that makes such a detailed simulation impossible. The future of simulation theory is not set in stone. It's a dynamic field, ever evolving and adapting to new discoveries and technological advancements. As our understanding of the universe and our technological capabilities grow, so too will our approach to this theory. One thing is certain. The future of simulation theory promises to be a journey of discovery, challenging our understanding of reality and our place within it. As we continue to explore and push the boundaries of our knowledge, we're not just seeking answers, we're also asking bigger, bolder questions. Whether we're living in a simulation or not, the journey to find out is sure to be an exciting one. So, are we living in a simulation? The jury is still out. Now let's take a step back and revisit the narrative we've been weaving. We began with the simulation hypothesis, a concept that our universe might be a creation of a superior, technologically advanced civilization. We dove into its fascinating origins, from its roots in philosophy to its emergence in the realm of scientific discourse, highlighting how it challenges our traditional understanding of reality. Then, we analyzed the compelling case for simulation. We considered the argument of technologically exponential growth, where one day we might have the ability to create a universe similar to ours in a computer. We also confronted the idea of ancestor simulations, that civilizations might simulate their past for research or entertainment. These arguments suggest that, if such simulations are possible, we are more likely to be living in one than in a base reality. Yet it's essential to remember that there are counter-arguments. Some scientists argue that such a simulation would demand resources beyond our comprehension. Others question the ethics of creating conscious beings in a simulation. We must also consider the absence of definitive evidence. These counterpoints remind us that the simulation hypothesis, while intriguing, remains a theory. We also discuss the implications of living in a simulation. From existential crises to our perception of free will, the impacts of this theory are profound and far-reaching. It raises questions about the nature of consciousness and the meaning of life itself. Looking ahead to the future of simulation theory, we see an exciting field of study. Researchers are developing ways to test the hypothesis, and philosophers continue to grapple with its implications. Regardless of whether we ever confirm or refute this theory, it's clear that it will continue to stimulate thought and debate. The reality might be a simulation or it might not be, but one thing is certain, it's a fascinating concept to explore.